Hello and welcome to the fourth week of Season 21, Season of the Deep, starting on June 13th, 2023. So for week 4, let's kick things off with our Legacy rotation, starting with the Forsaken expansion.
Ready if you are. Let's see what's out there.
The Dreaming City this week is at a strong curse level, which means Petrovenge can be found in Rio Silvia, and has the Dark Monastery mission for the next week. The Blind Well features Taken Enemies and the Plague Inamina. The Ascendant challenge this week will be the Keep of Owned Edges, which can be located over in the Harbinger's Seclude on the Dreaming City. Next up, the Shadowkeep expansion. On the Moon, the weekly story mission is in the Deep. The Trove Guardian is located in the Hellmouth, and the Wandering Nightmare is the Nightmare of Hawkis in the Anchor of Light. And the Nightmare hunts this week will be Fogoth, Fear, Ghoul, Rage, and Tanix, Isolation. For our Beyond Light expansion, on Europa this week, Praxis the Technocrat will be the Empire Hunt, Cadmus Ridge will be the Eclipse Zone, and the Exo Challenge will be Safeguard. For the 30th anniversary expansion, we have the loot rotation for Dares of Eternity, which will be on week 4's rotation with the Scatterhorn armor set and the Pathfinder armor set being available. The weapons available this week will be the Stasis Precision Frame Shotgun, Fractathis, the Solar High Impact Frame Auto Rifle, Cryzure Milo, the Stasis Precision Frame Hand Cannon, Vulpicula, the Arc Precision Frame Bow, Wolftone Draw, the Solar High Impact Frame Fusion Rifle, Iotona Draconis, the Solar Rapid Fire Frame Heavy Grenade Launcher, Canis Major, the Arc Vice Rapid Fire Scout Rifle, Contingency Plan, the Kinetic High Impact Frame Pulse Rifle, Legal Action 2, the Solar Rapid Fire Frame Heavy Grenade Launcher, Outrageous Fortune, the Void Adaptive Frame Sword, Steel Syllabus C14, and the Kinetic Lightweight Frame Sidearm, Spoiler Alert. For the Witch Queen expansion, the Witch Queen weekly story mission is the Communion, where the modifier is Empath, as well as Barrier and Unstoppable champions. Also this week you will have Altar of Reflection Catalyst and Altar of Reflection Insight. The Wellspring activity has been updated to include a featured Throne Word weapon, Veritas armor, and a weapon pattern as its rewards. For the Lightfall expansion, the weekly mission is First Contact, with extra shields, lock loadouts, and extra champions, Barrier and Unstoppable champions, Void Threat, Scorched Earth, Overcharged Weapons, Arc and Strand Surges, Overcharged Shotgun, and Galvanized on Hero difficulty only. The Partition mission will be Hard Reset, Contest mode enabled with Barrier and Unstoppable champions, Arc Threat, Scorched Earth, Pestilence and Martyr modifiers, Arc and Strand Shields with Void and Strand Surges. And the Vex incursion this week will be Liming Harbour. In addition, the weekly Lightfall reset also refreshes the Pinnacle drop for the Node Override Avalon exotic mission on the EDZ. For the Season of the Deep, the featured fishing pond will be on the EDZ. Raids and Dungeons. The Root of Nightmares raid challenge this week is the 4th encounter, Nezarec, called All Hands. Each player in your fire team must trigger one node on each side before the damage phase begins. The Kingsfall raid challenge this week is the 4th encounter, Daughters of Oryx, called Under Construction. Players cannot stand on the same plate twice in a single phase. The Vow the Disciple challenge this week is the 1st encounter, Acquisition, called Swift Destruction, where Guardians must kill all champions within a few seconds of each other on all rounds. The Deepstone Crypt challenge this week is the 3rd encounter, Tanix Part 1, called Of All Trades. Guardians must perform each role at least once, Operator, Scanner and Suppressor. The Guard of Salvation challenge this week is the 1st encounter, Embrace, called To the Top. This is where you must not kill the Cyclops that spawns near the Consecrated Mind. And the Last Wish challenge this week is the 4th encounter, Vault, called Keep Out. Guardians must ensure that no Might of Riven Knights make it to the Centre Chamber during the Vault fight. Your Pinnacle raid will be the Vault of Glass over in the Legends tab, which means all challenges will be available for each encounter. These are the 1st encounter, Confluxes, called Wait For It, where every Yellow Bar Wyvern must be killed as they sacrifice themselves to the Confluxes. The 2nd encounter, Oracles, called The Only Oracle for You. Players cannot destroy the same Oracle more than once. The 3rd encounter, Templar, called Out of Its Way, where you must keep the Templar from teleporting. The 4th encounter, Gatekeeper, called Strangers in Time. Players must defeat the Praetorians and Wyverns at the same time. And the 5th encounter, Atheon, called Ensembler's Refrain. Each player teleporting can only destroy one Oracle in each spawn set. Also, with the Vault of Glass being the featured raid, this does mean that you can farm the final boss for a chance at the exotic fusion rifle, Vex Mythoclast. And the Pinnacle dungeon will be the Shattered Throne on the Dreaming City. Next up, challenges. Into the Depths 4. Complete the Week 4 Into the Depths mission for Challenge XP+. Frontline Salvager 4. Complete 3 salvage or deep dive activities whilst using a Void subclass. Additionally, defeat 50 Hive anywhere in the system. Guardians grant additional progress for Challenge XP+. Deep Diver. Successfully complete encounters at any depth on deep dive activities. Pressure Trial encounters grant increased progress for Challenge XP+. Commendable Salvager. Give or receive 6 commendations in match-made salvage activities for Challenge XP+. Mod Collector. Unlock 12 artifact mods for Challenge XP++ and Bright Dust. Momentum Crash. Defeat Guardians in momentum control. Earn bonus progress with Zone Advantage for Challenge XP+ and Bright Dust. Sound of Metal. Defeat 100 targets with auto rifles, 100 with hand cannons, and 100 with scout rifles in Gambit. Bonus progress is granted for defeating Guardians for Challenge XP++ and Bright Dust. Darkest Nightfall. Complete any Nightfall strike on hero difficulty or higher for Challenge XP+, Bright Dust, and a Nightfall weapon. And Precision Calibration. Calibrate marksman weapons, scout rifles, sniper rifles, and linear fusion rifles by landing final blows. Bonus progress is granted for defeating Guardians for Challenge XP+ and Bright Dust. Hello! As a reminder, your daily lost sector will show you a flag outside which will give you details of threats, shields, champions, and exotic armor you'll find inside. But if you're new to the game or you're using an alternate character and can't find the flag outside, you will have to run through the lost sector normally to have it show up on your map as a legend/master, which you can either do solo or with a fire team, but you will only be able to earn a chance at the exotic drop when completing solo. Tuesday, June 13th will be the Exodus Garden 2A on the Cosmodrome for exotic helmets, Void Threat, Arc and Void Surges, Void Shields, Scorched Earth modifier with Barrier and Overload champions. Wednesday, June 14th will be the K1 Revelations on the Moon for exotic boots, Void Threat, Arc and Strand Surges, Arc Shields, Fire Pit modifier, Overcharged machine guns with Barrier and Unstoppable champions. Thursday, June 15th will be the K1 Crew Quarters on the Moon for exotic gauntlets, Arc Threat, Arc and Strand Surges, Solar Shields, Hot Knife modifier, Overcharged Glaives with Barrier and Overload champions. Friday, June 16th will be the K1 Logistics on the Moon for exotic chests, Void Threat, Arc and Void Surges, Arc and Solar Shields, Hot Knife and Chafe modifiers, Overcharged Sniper Rifle with Barrier and Overload champions. Saturday, June 17th will be the K1 Communion on the Moon for exotic helmets, Solar Threat, Arc and Strand Surges, Solar and Void Shields, Arachno modifier, Overload Fusion Rifle with Barrier and Overload champions. Sunday, June 18th will be Sepultura on the Throne World for exotic boots, Solar Threat, Arc and Strand Surges, Arc and Solar Shields, Fire Pit modifier, Overcharged Fusion Rifle with Barrier and Unstoppable champions. And finally, back round to Monday, June 19th will be the Extraction on the Throne World for exotic gauntlets, Arc Threat, Arc and Strand Surges, Arc and Void Shields with Overload and Unstoppable champions.
Lead the way.
Grandmaster Nightfall's return this week, bringing with them our 4th featured Nightfall of the season, which will see us face off against Alakul in the Lightblade over on the Throne World, where you have a chance to get a Pinnacle engram if you complete the Nightfall with a score of 200k or more. This Nightfall will require you to own the Witch Queen expansion. You will be able to earn high-end gear for your characters, including the Nightfall featured weapon, exotic gear, enhancement cores, enhancement prisms, ascendant shards, and Adept Nightfall ciphers. The higher the Nightfall difficulty, the more common the drop will be, with the featured weapon and exotic gear being uncommon at hero difficulty to being common with ascendant shards in Grandmasters. The Legend and lower Nightfalls will have 8 Barrier, 2 Unstoppable, and 7 Lucent champions, with 6 Solar and 12 Arc Shields. Masters will have 12 Barrier, 3 Unstoppable, and 7 Lucent champions, with 6 Solar and 8 Arc Shields. Your Nightfall modifiers are Hero Difficulty, Maximum Effective Level 1765, Matchmaking is available, Enemies have extra shields, Champions Foe, you will face Barrier, Unstoppable, and Lucent champions. You can either use Intrinsic Exotics, use a subclass debuff, or unlock anti-champion mods from the seasonal artifact. Arc Threat, 25% increase to incoming arc damage, Empath, Enhanced Radar, take increased damage from melee, Overcharged Weapons, weapons overcharged from the seasonal artifact are active in this activity. Kinetic weapons do increased damage when your subclass element matches an active surge. Arc Surge, 25% bonus to outgoing arc damage, an Elemental Surge, 25% bonus to an outgoing element's damage, Overcharged Weapon, 25% bonus damage to a specific weapon type, Galvanized, combatants have more health and are more difficult to stun, Legend difficulty, maximum effective level 1815, includes all previous modifiers except Galvanized. No matchmaking. Equipment locked, you'll be unable to change your equipment once the mission starts. Master difficulty, maximum effective level 1820, includes all previous modifiers except Galvanized. Champions mob, this difficulty adds more champion enemies. Chafe, radar is disabled. Grandmaster difficulty, maximum effective level 1815, includes all previous modifiers except Galvanized. Join in progress disabled. Extinguish, if your fire team falls in a restricted zone, your team is returned to orbit. Limited revives, gain additional revives by defeating champions up to a maximum of 20. And contest mode, which caps your power level to make enemies more of a challenge. To combat champions this season, you have access to subclass counters as well as a choice of intrinsic anti-champion artifact mods, which are Anti-Barrier Auto Rifle, Unstoppable Hand Cannon, and Unstoppable Glaive. You also have exotic weapons and armor that can help with intrinsic mods as well. For Anti-Barrier, the Kinetic Bow Wishender, the Kinetic Linear Fusion Rifle Arbalest, the Kinetic Pulse Rifle Revision 0, the Solar Energy Hand Cannon Eriana's Vow, the Solar Heavy Sword the Lament, and the Titan Exotic Gauntlet Second Chance, which gain a second charge of your shield throw melee, which becomes shield piercing and stuns barrier champions. And for Unstoppable, the Kinetic Fusion Rifle Bastion, the Kinetic Hand Cannon Malfeasance, the Solar Energy Sidearm Devil's Ruin, the Void Heavy Bow Leviathan's Breath, and the Hunter Gauntlets Athris' Embrace, which have a chance to stun unstoppable champions with their empowered weighted knife. The Nightfall featured weapon to obtain this week will be the Arc Adaptive Frame Grenade Launcher, Wendigo GL3. The Wendigo GL3 has a base blast radius of 50, velocity of 29 and handling of 41. It can roll with Full Court, Explosive Light and Frenzy, with Clown Cartridge, Chain Reaction and Auto-Loading Holster. It has the origin trait of Stunning Recovery, where if you stun a champion you partially refill the magazine, trigger health regen and improve your recovery for a short duration. Vanguard Vindication, where final blows with the weapon grant a small amount of health, and Omlone Fluid Dynamics, where the weapon has increased reload speed and stability for the top half of the magazine. Lord Shaxx brings Momentum Control to the Crucible for the 4th week of the season. Momentum Control is a 6v6 PvP mode which is a variation of the regular control mode, where every weapon is significantly higher in lethality, meaning that you can take out your opponents much faster than normal. Respawns are instant, and defeating enemy players in Momentum Control will grant faster regeneration on your melee, grenade and super. Players get increased damage resistance when they activate a super, to help counteract that little bit of extra damage that the guns give out. The mode also has increased capture speeds on points, and radar is removed for every player. Achieve victory by capturing zones and defeating opponents. And Supremacy will be making its triumphant return this week in the Relentless Crucible playlist. Supremacy is a 6v6 PvP game mode which is a variation of Clash. Every Guardian that falls will leave a class-based crest behind, and collecting those is the key to winning each match, no matter if they were dropped by a defeated enemy or by a fallen comrade. Securing opposing Guardian's crest will net the team 1 point, and collecting a fallen teammates will deny your opponent that point. Focus on recovering the crest to earn points and defeat the opposing team.
Delightful!
Trials of Osiris Dominion will be back at the weekend with the Adept Messenger Pulse Rifle being available from the Flawless chest. Plus, there are also some new rewards for players who do make it to the Lighthouse and open the chest. These include the Hero's Wake Exotic Ghost Shell, the Valiant Memory Exotic Ship, the Survivor's Journey Exotic Sparrow, and the new Trial Shader, Glorious Patina. Trials of Osiris Dominion is a 3v3 PvP high-stakes game mode with a twist of capturing points. In Dominion, 2 teams of 3 go head-to-head in a battle for control of a capture point. Teams can either work together to capture the control point or eliminate the enemy team to win the round. Only available from Friday reset until Tuesday weekly reset, Trials gives every player the chance to show off their PvP skills to obtain some of Destiny's most sought-after weapons and armour. Players that compete in Trials of Osiris will have all of their games tracked to a passage card, a ticket purchased from Saint 14 in the lower hangar of the tower. Winning rounds and matches in Trials will grant exclusive weapons, armour, Pinnacle gear, Masterwork material and even Adept gear for the most skilled players who can reach the Lighthouse with a flawless ticket of 7 games won and no losses. 5 round wins will bag you the match for your passage card. By competing in Trials, you do have a chance to pick up 2 Pinnacle engrams from playing each week, one from 50 round wins and the other from winning 7 games. These do not have to be done all in one go, but you do have to complete them before the weekly reset.
That is amazing.
Also this week we'll see the return of bonus XP in the Gambit playlist. So if you want a fast track in getting their new ritual weapon, the Last Rite Scout Rifle, and Gambit Ornament, the Outclass Rubric, then Gambit on my friends. And that's it for the 4th week of Season of the Deep. Thank you for watching. Allons-y.
Guardian down.